The Mediterranean sun beat down on a fragmented land, a tapestry of islands and peninsulas. Here, amidst rugged mountains and azure seas, a civilization rose that would lay the intellectual and cultural foundations for much of the Western world. This was ancient Greece, a collection of independent city-states, all players, whose innovations in philosophy, democracy, art, and science continue to resonate millennia later. What were the defining characteristics of their society? And what contributions did they bequeath to posterity? From roughly 800 BCE to 600 CE, the Greeks forged a legacy of unparalleled influence. They established extensive trade networks across the Mediterranean and Black Seas, facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultural influences. This era saw a decline in population, literacy, and centralized power. But how did this geographically disparate collection of peoples achieve such enduring greatness? Our journey into ancient Greece begins with its geography. The mountainous terrain naturally divided the land, fostering the development of independent city-states rather than a unified empire. These colonies maintained cultural ties to their mother cities, but were politically independent. After periods of aristocratic rule and tyranny, reforms by figures like Solon, Cleisthenes, and Pericles gradually expanded political participation. This fragmentation, while leading to frequent conflicts, also encouraged fierce local identity and diverse political experiments. The long coastlines and numerous islands, however, made the Greeks natural seafarers. Education focused on developing well-rounded citizens capable of participating in public life. Its society was entirely geared towards military strength and discipline, driven by the need to control its large population of subjugated Helot state-owned serfs. However, it was also limited. Only free adult males born in Athens were considered citizens, excluding women, slaves, and foreign resident metics. The early period, following the collapse of the Mycenaean civilization, is often called the Dark Ages c. 1100 to 800 BCE. Girls also received physical training to produce strong future warriors. However, from these dark beginnings emerged the Archaic period c. 800 to 500 BCE, marked by a resurgence of population, the development of the Greek alphabet adapted from the Phoenicians, and the rise of the city-state as the dominant political unit. This period also saw extensive Greek colonization across the Mediterranean and Black Sea, driven by population growth, land hunger, and trade opportunities. The two most famous and influential city-states were Athens and Sparta, representing contrasting ideals of Greek society. However, Athens increasingly dominated the League, effectively transforming it into an Athenian empire. Individual freedom was heavily suppressed in favor of collective military might. Athens, located in Attica, evolved into a democracy. Ultimately, Sparta, with Persian financial support and a strong land army, defeated Athens, marking the end of Athenian hegemony. Key battles include Marathon for 90 BCE, Thermopylae for 80 BCE, Salamis for 80 BCE, and Plataea for 79 BCE. Cleisthenes, in particular, is often credited with truly establishing Athenian democracy around 508 BCE, reorganizing citizens into tribes and councils that fostered broader involvement. Plato's philosophical works, such as the Republic, explored justice, ideal societies. And the Nietzsche of reality, his systematic approach to knowledge profoundly influenced Western thought. For centuries, Athenian democracy was direct, meaning citizens voted directly on laws and policies. Great tragedians like Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides explored themes of fate, morality, and human suffering. Aristophanes satirized Athenian society in his comedies. Athenian society valued intellectual pursuits, philosophy, art, and rhetoric. Artists like Phidias created iconic works that set standards for classical beauty. Sparta, in contrast, was a militaristic oligarchy located in Laconia. From a young age, Spartan boys underwent rigorous military training known as the aegis. Tutored by Aristotle, Alexander embarked on an astonishing campaign of conquest. He gradually conquered or subdued most of the Greek city-states. Thucydides set new standards for historical objectivity and analysis in his account of the Peloponnesian War. Spartan government was complex, involving two kings, a council of elders Drusha, and elected overseers Ephors. Greek temples showcased the distinctive Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian orders, influencing architecture worldwide. Euclid systematized geometry in his Elements. Archimedes made groundbreaking discoveries in mathematics, physics, and engineering. Eratosthenes accurately calculated the Earth's circumference. The classical period c. 500 to 323 BCE represents the zenith of ancient Greek civilization, marked by both intense conflict and unparalleled cultural flourishing. The Persian Wars for 99 to 449 BCE were a series of conflicts between the Greek city-states and the mighty Persian Empire. Against overwhelming odds, the Greeks, particularly Athens and Sparta, united to repel the Persian invasions. Roman art, architecture, literature, and philosophy were heavily indebted to Greek models. By 31 BCE, with the Roman conquest of Ptolemaic Egypt, the last independent Hellenistic kingdom fell, and Greece became a Roman province. These victories fostered a strong sense of Greek identity and pride, particularly in Athens, whose naval power was crucial at Salamis. Their ideas continue to inspire, challenge, and shape our understanding of the world and ourselves. Following the Persian Wars, Athens formed the Delian League, an naval alliance initially intended to defend against future Persian threats. This Athenian dominance and its growing wealth and power led to resentment among other city-states, particularly Sparta. The escalating tensions culminated in the Peloponnesian War for 31 to 404 BC, a devastating conflict between the Athenian-led Delian League and the Spartan-led Peloponnesian League. The war, meticulously chronicled by Thucydides, was long and brutal, weakening all Greek city-states. Despite the internal strife, the classical period was a golden age for Greek culture and intellectual achievement. Philosophy blossomed, with towering figures like Socrates, who challenged conventional wisdom and emphasized ethical inquiry, famously stating, "The unexamined life is not worth living." His student, Plato, founded the Academy, one of the earliest institutions of higher learning. Aristotle, Plato's student, was a polymath whose work spanned logic, metaphysics, ethics, politics, biology, and poetics. Drama emerged as a distinct art form, with the development of tragedy and comedy. History as a systematic discipline began with Herodotus, the father of history, who chronicled the Persian Wars. Architecture reached its peak, exemplified by the majestic Parthenon on the Athenian Acropolis, dedicated to the goddess Athena. Sculpture emphasized the idealized human form, striving for perfection and naturalism. The weakening of the Greek city-states after the Peloponnesian War paved the way for the rise of a new power to the north, Macedon. King Philip II of Macedon reigned 359 to 336 BCE, transformed his kingdom into a formidable military power, developing the highly effective Macedonian phalanx. His son, Alexander the Great, reigned 336 to 323 BCE, inherited a powerful kingdom and an ambitious vision. Within a decade, he conquered the vast Persian Empire. stretching his empire from Greece to Egypt, across the Middle East, and into India. Alexander's conquests spread Greek culture, language, and ideas across a vast territory, initiating the Hellenistic Age 323 to 31 BCE. Upon Alexander's sudden death, his empire fragmented into several large Hellenistic kingdoms ruled by his generals, the Diadochi, such as the Ptolemaic Kingdom in Egypt with its capital at Alexandria, and the Seleucid Empire in the Near East. The Hellenistic Age saw the continued spread of Greek culture, but also its fusion with local traditions, creating vibrant new cultural centers like Alexandria, which became a leading center of learning with its famous library. This period saw significant advancements in science and mathematics. The Hellenistic kingdoms eventually succumbed to the rising power of Rome. Despite being conquered, Greek culture profoundly influenced Roman civilization, leading to the phrase Greece, having been conquered, conquered a savage conqueror. The legacy of ancient Greece is immense and enduring, truly earning its title as the birthplace of Western civilization. Their pioneering efforts in democracy laid the groundwork for modern political systems, emphasizing citizen participation and rule of law. Greek philosophy provided the fundamental questions and methods of inquiry that continue to shape Western thought, from ethics and logic to metaphysics. Their contributions to science and mathematics were foundational, from geometry and astronomy to early medical practices. Greek art and architecture established classical ideals of beauty, proportion, and harmony that have influenced countless artists and builders across millennia. Their literature and drama explored universal human themes, creating timeless works that continue to be performed and studied. The ancient Greeks, through their intellectual curiosity, political experimentation, and artistic innovation, created a civilization whose impact far outlasted its political independence.